Hey everybody, it's Brian from Gold Box Trading. So what do we want to talk about today? We want to talk about how you can get some high probability trades in the market. And before we get into that, let's really talk about why you're even investing in the stock market or any investment that you might be in. You either want to achieve more income right now, or you want to grow your portfolio so that when you retire, you're going to have enough money to either convert into an annuity or to just have enough to live on, where your investments are paying an income every month, where you're never going to have to worry about outliving your money when you retire. So you want to have some confidence when you retire. So everybody's got different goals depending on where they are in life. But I'm here to share with you a strategy that I think is terrific. The thing I love about it is because in normal stock investing, you typically have like a 50-50 shot at it. You've got a 50% chance that the stock's going to go up, 50% chance the stock's going to go down. So when you buy it, you can either win or you can lose. If you hold on to it long enough, sure, the market tends to have an upward drift to it. But in general, stock price movement is random. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that because they've invested a lot of time in fundamental analysis and technical analysis. I spent years trading on technical analysis, even fundamental analysis. But it was a big relief to me to finally discover that stock price movement is random. And although you can be discouraged about that, you can actually find a way and profit from it. And the way that you can do that is that even though stock price movement is random, there is something with the stock prices and the way they move, what people expect the price of the stock to do, the volatility of the stock. If the interesting thing with the volatility is that if you measure it and you plot it on a graph, you'll see that volatility tends to move back to its mean over time. So if the volatility of a stock is very high right now, you can pretty much guarantee that eventually that volatility is going to come back down. Same thing when the volatility is low, you can pretty much guarantee that the volatility is going to come back up to its mean. It's mean reverting. When it goes up, it comes back down. So the cool thing about that is, without getting into all the math and the probabilities behind it, you can actually place your stock strategies around that fact and be able to profit consistently around that fact. And the way that you do that is you have to take a look at the stock option. So I know a lot of you understand what a stock option is. For those of you that don't, a stock option just allows you, one stock option allows you control of 100 shares of a stock. And if you buy a stock option, then at a certain price, you are sort of locked in at that price. And if the underlying goes up, the stock value or the stock option goes up. There's a lot. I can spend hours talking about stock options. I'm not going to do that right now. But what I'm trying to get at is the price of a stock option is very different than the price of the underlying on the stock. And the way that the market typically determines what the value of a stock option is what's called the Black-Scholes model, which generally determines the price of a stock option. And where I'm getting at is that when the stock's volatility is high, then the price of options are high. They go higher because in Black-Scholes there's a specific part of Black-Scholes that looks at volatility. So if volatility is high, then a stock option will be high. And the strategies that we like to use are such that when stock volatility is high, we want to be in the game selling premium. We want to be able to collect a lot of money for these, what I call bloated stock option prices. So when a stock option price is really high, I want to be able to sell that option and be able to collect as much premium as I can. The analogy I like to use, there's a couple of different ones, but if you have a boat and you want to sell that boat for the most amount of money, do you want to sell that boat in the middle of the summer, or do you want to sell that boat in the middle of the winter? Well, obviously you want to sell it in the middle of the summer because you're going to get the most profit from your boat sale, because that's when people are going to be willing to pay the most for it. Another analogy I like to use is the strategy is like selling ice cream to starving kids on a hot, humid day in the summer. You want to be able to sell that truckload of ice cream in a neighborhood stocked with kids, right around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's a hot, humid day. You looked at the temperature, you looked at the weather report for the day. You know it's going to be hot today. It's going to be 90, 95. You know that if you take your truck out and drive around the neighborhood, you're going to get a lot of ice cream sales. So, the same thing is, I'm not going to drive my truck around in the middle of winter when it's freezing cold outside trying to sell ice cream to kids. They're just not going to buy it. I'm not going to make any money. So I can get the most for these ice creams when the environment, when the opportunity is there. And I can look at the calendar. I can look at the weather forecast. I know precisely when is the best time to take my truck out, load it up with ice cream, and sell it to those kids. And it's the same thing that we have going on here with this strategy. We can scan the markets and take a temperature of the markets and find the best opportunities out there. What is the market right now? We can pick out the best stocks and use a strategy that is successful, not 50% of the time, but in most of the time we're talking 70, 80, 90% of the time we're going to be profitable on these trades because we're looking at the best stocks in the market at the time that they're the best, because maybe their volatility is high compared to where it's been over the last 12 months, and be able to apply a strategy that's going to win 70, 80, 90% of the time. So this was just a real quick video. When you apply strategies like that and you're winning 70, 80, 90% of the time, you're going to be able to experience double-digit growth in your retirement account. You're going to be able to produce an income that can be a lot of income compared to maybe what you're earning on your job, or if you've got a part-time job or whatever you're doing. It's a very powerful strategy. When you've got an account that is producing double-digit returns, it's going to allow you to retire sooner than you expected, and you're going to be able to retire with confidence because you know that your money is going to be at such a level that you're not going to outspend it. If you want more training on this, we put on some free training at goldboxtrading.com where we explain everything on how it all works, and we look forward to having you on the training. Thanks, and have a great day.